powered by Riverside FM.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to It's Not That Deep here at It's Not That Deep.com. I'm your host, Danny, and your co host.
John.
Yes, welcome. So, for today, we've kind of been on this kind of health and wellness journey, which I feel like is kind of like the avenue that we're kind of going down. And so, I had a topic that I really wanted to tackle.
Super excited.
It kind of goes up a little bit about what we previously were talking about, where I guess you could call it self reflection and knowing that everyone is on a journey. And at the end of the day, there is no technical destination when it
Yeah.
comes to life because we're all growing and we're all navigating ourselves through different avenues. And so, the whole point that I wanted to say and I wanted to grow upon this is that as we're going through life and we're growing, and you kind of feel like you always hear it. Oh, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, and I just don't have it figured out. I don't know what to do, X, Y, and Z. And I guess just growing and realizing that you don't ever truly have it figured out. You just keep going. I do feel like at certain points you do feel like you have it figured out, but the beauty about life is that life is not going to let you get the upper hand for too long. It's going to
Hmm.
make sure you know who's really in charge. And so realizing that it's okay because the person that you are now is not the person that you were 5, 10 years ago. It's not going to be the person that you're going to be in 5 to 10 years' time. Everyone grows at their own pace and everyone develops differently. So, what you could find as important to you now is not going to be important to you later. The reason why I bring this up because I know on the last podcast we were talking about changing your mindset, right? And understanding that you need to make sure you set yourself up for success first by prioritizing yourself and making sure you're investing in yourself and getting your mindset correctly. A lot of times when it comes to procrastination and kind of putting things off, it is a mindset and you think to yourself, it's like, man, when am I ever going to change this mindset? You feel like you've been the same person for the past few years. You feel like you really haven't grown, you really haven't developed. But what you don't understand is like you have wins. You have many wins, from whether it's moving, changing jobs, or ending a bad relationship, or just sticking to better habits. A lot of times it's the realization is like you are not the same person that you used to be and taking a hold accountable and acknowledging that. So that's kind of like the avenue that I kind of want to go down on. So what do you think, John?
So I actually really love this. Because you know me, I actually love the deep, not so deep conversations,
Right?
right? Because it's not that deep, but like this is kind of like a deep combo. Because for one, we are never ever the same person day by day, right? Who I was yesterday, I am not the same person today,
True.
right? Because we're constantly growing and learning and becoming the person that we are in the future, but in the present.
Yes.
And like you had said, no matter the win, the smallest or the biggest win, you're gonna continue growing, right?
Wins a win.
And let me be real. I'm 34 now, right? And you're what, 25, right? Love that. And when I was 18, going to school, doing my thing, I was living more and doing more and experiencing more than I am today, right? Which is great. That's what we do, right? But now and today, I am doing more than I was at 18,
Okay, yes. Speak upon it.
right? I'm traveling more. I'm experiencing more. I'm going out more. I'm starting businesses. I'm learning more. I'm growing more as a person and understanding who I am as an
Yeah.
individual. And all this to say that you're never truly going to have it all the way together.
True.
Okay? Because even today, I don't have all my shit together. I have some flaws. I have some things that I need to work on, right? I know my shortcomings and I'm working on those, right? And that's what we can do is work on them. But when I was 20, I thought I was like behind in life. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got so much I need to get done. I'm stressing and stressing. I need to get this promotion. I need to push for this. I need to go and do this." Baby boy, if I could tell myself one thing, like if I could just go back and be like, "Baby boy, slow down. You don't have to live everything all your life in a couple of years. Slow down."
You don't have to live your whole life in a couple of years. You legit have a lifetime. No one knows when they're gonna go. No one knows when,
Yeah,
this will come crashing down.
live
But
for the moment. Love who you want to
yes.
love and experience that and do you, right? I mean, here's my thing too. Let's say Becky and these are just random
Hmm.
people's names. Becky and Elizabeth, right? They meet. There's some difference in age, or a few years or whatever. They're experiencing each other. They end up loving each other, whatever. They get into this relationship, right? But one of them's like, "Oh, that's not where I want to be in life. Like, I'm not successful. I'm not here yet. Like, I can't provide for you. I can't do this and that." I just want to tell those people who, think in that way, chill. It's okay. Allow yourself to experience that love, because you may kick yourself in the gut later in the years when you do have your shit somewhat together, that you missed out on that. You allowed yourself to miss out on this beautiful experience of what love could be. And who knows, that could be your person. But because you felt like you weren't ready for X, Y, and Z, you weren't ready for the relationship, you weren't ready for a life, you weren't ready for this and that. Like, you thought you had so much you needed to get done before you could even do this or that, or you had to get your career in line, you had to get your school in line, you had to finish school, you had to handle your family. You had to deal with this and that. But you're not allowing yourself to be in the moment. You're consistently
Yeah.
pushing yourself out into the future, right? And when you're doing that, you're not allowing yourself to be in the moment, and two, you're not allowing yourself to truly experience life.
I mean, it is kind of hard because we think about it like that, right? So, in different avenues, different aspects in your life, there are going to be moments where you end up, in a sense, kind of putting love on the back burner because of career. You end up putting your career on the back burner because of family. You
Mhm.
end up putting your family on the back burner because of your career, love, whatever. So, it is kind of hard because, like we say, you're not always going to have it all together.
Yep.
There might be a day or a few years, hopefully, right, that it seems like every single avenue aspect of your life is set, it is flowing, it is a beautiful
I
habitat.
don't believe in that.
But,
That's me.
huh?
No, I said I don't believe in that, and I'll explain why in a little bit after you're
Oh,
done.
everything is working in its own harmonious way. Whether it's like you're able to see your family, let's say, right? You went to school, you built your career, right? Granted, you were dating someone and you really liked that person, but it didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z. Y'all couldn't see each other as much. You were both in school or you both had careers X, Y, and Z. It didn't work out. You move on, right?
Hmm.
Let's say later on you do meet again, or you don't. You move on and
Yeah.
you meet somebody else who when you meet them, it's the perfect time, right?
Hmm.
So you already have a career, you're setting yourself up. And I'm talking about like at the end of the day, you do need to give yourself a little bit of a leeway of like, you know what, you are trying your best. As long as you are trying your best, you can give yourself some leeway.
Yeah, give us a little
That's the
grace.
important part that I'm wanting to say here is that as long as you are trying your best, you are doing what you can to build yourself a life that you want. Yes, always remember that you do need to make sure that you prioritize yourself, your health, and your wellness. But that also means you have to put yourself out there. Go have fun. Find out what you like to do. What are hobbies? What are events that you like to go see? Some people like to go to concerts. Some people don't like raves. Some people like pottery. Some people don't like to paint. Didn't mean to rhyme there. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
over here spitting.
Um, but yeah, it's just that because at the end of the day, when I say you have it all together, is you have your career, right? You worked for this, 10 years, 20 years, well, however long it takes you to get there, right? You have in a sense the career that you wanted. You're dating someone and you're happy with them and it's working out because you both have self-awareness and you understand what you want, you understand what your partner wants. Cool. You probably don't get to see your family every day, every week, maybe once or twice a month, right? But it's just enough that you feel like you have every avenue.
I see what you're saying. I
You
think
see
I,
what I'm
I think
saying?
I kind of agree with you now.
Yes, because at the end of the day, everyone is their own person. As much as we want to spend time with the person that we love and or like, as much as we want to spend with our family, as much as we want to spend in developing our careers and such, we cannot do that because at the end of the day, we are human beings. That, like one, we need rest.
Yep.
We need to
Need your
let
8 hours a
body,
day.
our mind, our emotions, spiritual, if you believe in that, you need to let every aspect of yourself rest. You need to let yourself rejuvenate and come back so you can be better than you were the day before. That's for one. For two, not every single piece of the puzzle is going to fit. And that's when you need to realize that sometimes a puzzle needs to be thrown away because one, it's not even meant for your end goal puzzle, whatever they're called. Picture? You see what I'm talking about? You can't force a puzzle piece that's not meant to go there. You look at this puzzle piece and it's a 2 point, right? And then you're looking at at like the area and it's a hole. But that one's also a 2 point. But it's opposite. 2 points are pointed to the left, like a backwards L. But the one that you have in your hand is a regular L.
Yeah, it's not a piece that actually was meant for your puzzle.
Exactly. But to you, you were like, oh, it's a 2 point piece. It's gonna go there, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't fit, but you're kind of forcing it to fit. But
Love that.
the moment that you start to realize, you know what, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to let something go. This is kind of like a 2 point thing, right? I guess you could say.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're going with this. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's okay to prioritize yourself, but always remember you gotta smell the flowers. As well, it's like it's okay to sometimes let things go. It's sometimes hard to be like, I really like this person, but maybe you like this person and this person likes you too, but they can't be there, or you can't be there as much as they want you to. Right? And that's okay. If it's a situation where maybe y'all can hold on and see if things change, if not, maybe it's time to let it go. If y'all can ever come back in the future. And I know you're a big believer on that.
I
If
am.
it's not it now and you both like each other, maybe y'all can come back. Right?
I'm probably the firmest believer in that. That I believe that sometimes I think I'm a firm believer in sometimes you meet someone and you know like they're the one. Like you both know. It's just in that timing, it's just not gonna work. There's no time. The schedules don't meet up. The nothing is aligning, but you just know. But in the near future, in the further future, somehow, some way, like everything starts aligning, right? I think it honestly comes down to the universe or like a deity or a god. Like you had to truly work on yourself. Both of you had to work on yourselves and grow to where that relationship or whatever could actually blossom and flourish, right?
Okay.
And be stable, right? I think it truly is that there's a connection, there's love, there's a, understanding or whatever. But neither of you are mature enough for this relationship. So it falls, right? But you both know that there's something there, so you both continue on life and you move on, or you're going through the motions of the everyday life, and before you know it, you're starting to work on yourself slowly but surely. You're doing this, you're going out on yourself adventures, or your solo adventures, and you're taking yourself on dates, and you're reading books, or you're learning things about yourself again. And then before you know it, you've matured. You mature into a new version of yourself. And that's the thing. We're never really the same people that we ever really are a year ago, a month ago, a day ago. We're consistently growing and pushing ourselves even further to learn who we are. Because I don't think we truly even start learning ourselves until we're like 15, 16 years old.
That is, yeah, I feel you on that.
And so when you really think about it, I'm what? Let's just say I'm 30. What's that? 15 years that I'm actually know myself. I've only known myself for 15 years,
Yeah.
right? I'm a little teenager. That's all I've known myself,
Yeah.
right? And so when people are like, "Oh, I don't really know what I want," that's okay because I don't think you will know, right? some people know from, a young age they want to be a doctor or an astronaut or an astrophysicist. They just know. Love that for you. But not every single person goes down that same path. Because sometimes you for the, you go through middle school, high school, and college, and you're like, I want to be a lawyer, but suddenly you have your law degree, you went and you started practicing law. A couple years later, you own a bakery. There's those two women. They were great lawyers. They own Crumble. They opened Crumble. They're lawyers. They were big time lawyers, and they decided that that wasn't their calling. That owning this bakery was their calling. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know, because every day you're learning a new version of yourself. And so that goes back to my opinion on waiting for something or having patience or learning patience, because just because who we were a few years ago, right? 5, 6 years ago, whatever. Let's just go with that. We didn't know ourselves yet. But now we're 5 or 6 years older, that we are capable of understanding ourselves a little bit more as an individual and being mature enough to say, I don't need to take all of your time. You don't need to take all of my time. I know there's things that you need to do and there's hobbies you love. Have fun. I'm going to enjoy my hobbies. Now, there's a few hobbies that we enjoy together. We can do those things together, right? As a relationship or a friendship or whatever it is, right? And then at that point, you're like, okay, so I got my 8 hours of sleep, right? Because if you want to break this per hour, you get your 8 hours of sleep. You got a few hours that you're reading your book, or you're praying if you're spiritual. If you're in school, you got your other 8 hours that you're studying, or in classes and this and that. Like, so there's a lot of things that are going to take your time. But I think if you're truly in it for that relationship, I think somehow, some way, you find a way to kind of make time for each other, right?
And I mean, it's just, you should never have pressure to feel like you're gonna, if you ever feel like you're gonna lose an opportunity with, let's say, career, person, or anything, it's probably not the opportunity and or person for you. You see what I mean?
I kind of get that,
Like,
but kind of also that fear kind of helps you make a decision, like,
exactly.
of, I am either in it or I'm not.
Yeah. As
Right?
much as I want to be in it, my life is not letting me. Maybe it's not meant for me right now.
Mm.
And sometimes you
Mhm.
need to be able to look at the bigger picture and understand, like, is this something worth waiting for? Is this something worth investing time into? Because at the, like, I feel like a big thing, and it kind of seems like a theme that we've really been going on, is that making sure that you invest in yourself and you make sure you prioritize yourself,
Yeah.
your mental health, your well-being, and or like your future, or who be who you are. Um, it just comes down to that. So to me, I think this topic is very interesting because I really want to touch on that and understanding that who you are now is not who you're going to be in the future. If, let's say, said friends, person or so, you can't carry everyone into the future with you. And at the end of the day, a lot of people, it's kind of hard for them because that's all that they've known. A life of comfortability does not bring, I forgot what the word is, but it's just, it's like saying it doesn't bring abundance. It doesn't bring success. Because
No.
if you're comfortable and you just do the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same result over and over.
I mean, yeah, and if you enjoy your life the way it is, then
And there's nothing wrong with
love
that.
that for you.
Because you could work so hard, you could develop yourself, your life, and such, that you do get to a point where you're like, I am comfortable now. I work so hard, I make great steady income. I've met someone, in the beginning stages and such, and then you're developing that relationship. You've gotten yourself to a point where you're like, you know what? Yes, you can be comfortable if you want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You could also keep going only if you wanted to keep going, but understanding that that is still not a destination, because life is still a journey, because you can only be comfortable for so long that you start to realize,
What am I missing? Like, you have
yes.
a void
And I always
almost.
wondered about that. What is that? I know that there are older people that have said, like, that void will always be there because as humans, we want to grow. We want to always keep learning, keep growing.
You know what I think it is?
What?
I think it's our spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a spiritual contract
Hmm.
in a sense. Like, you were meant to continue doing this, and accomplishing these mini goals in life, right?
Yeah.
Because you were spiritually contractual upon meeting those goals. Now, when you don't meet those goals, you feel like you're missing something.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And because you missed out on that, you're gonna continue feeling like, oh, I could have did that, or I
Mm-hmm.
should have did that. I missed out on that, right?
Yeah.
Because you were actually supposed to do that. But whether it's too late or you still have time, it doesn't really matter. It's just you still need to continue pushing forward and meeting the other contractual agreements that you created. That's one way to think about it. The way I truly see it is I don't think that we have a pre-planned path, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
here to live an experience. We're here because we were born, we're given life, we were given a breath of life within us, right? And we all have a spirit, we all have a soul. It's what drives us, it's what gives us life every single day, right? It's that will that's within us that that
Yeah.
that I'm gonna do it, right? That I
Yes.
can't be afraid. I'm gonna do it. And I think it's that spirit, that willpower that within us that's like, I can't just sit here. I can't just sit here all day and be comfortable, right? Because that spirit is like, nah, bro, like I want to go walking in the park today. Like,
Yeah.
that you get those random thoughts in your mind of, I want to do this today. Or I want to do that today.
Want to have this experience.
Yeah, I want to go to this restaurant today and just try the eggs.
Yeah.
Some random shit, no?
Yeah.
And it's always that random thought that's like, you're like, you know what, that actually does sound
And then
good.
if you don't do it,
You feel like
you
you feel like you just like ruined your whole life. Like it's kind of like,
and then the moment you forget about it,
oh yeah,
it just feels like there's something I wanted to do. There's like something, and then later on, you're just like, I want to do something, but now I don't know what I want to do. And it's always the worst
yes,
because it's always the simplest thing. You just wanted to go for a walk. That's all you want to do.
yeah,
You just want to go to a brunch spot, try some new eggs. And it's just that, I mean, let yourself have those moments. Let
yeah.
yourself
And I think those are
have the little pleasures.
yeah, and I think those are the most important moments of your life,
Mhm.
right? And the reason I say that is because if you truly have that calling within your spirit to go do that, boy, some reason you were meant to go out into that one thing to do that you were called to do because you're being utilized for some other purpose, right?
Exactly.
Someone saw you and they loved that t-shirt and they got that t-shirt. And who knows, that t-shirt could have a bonding moment with someone they were to meet at a later point. Or they see you and they're like, oh, and they talk to you like, oh, your skin is glowing. Like, what do you use? You see what I'm saying? Those moments, those rare moments in life where someone just comes up to you or they see you or they see something of you and it kind of reminds them of themselves where they self-reflect or they think of them like their spirit was reacted because you came out by your spirit having you come out, right? Because we all have spirits within us, but we're all activating each other on different things, right? When you go out somewhere and you look at someone like, oh my gosh, she looks good. I wish I had that kind of body. What does it do? It makes you want to go work out, right? It
That's
makes
right.
you want to go do something. It makes you want to walk that extra mile, right? Because your spirit was activated by their spirit coming out and doing, right? That's what I believe, right?
Yes.
That's how I see it and that's how I perceive it. And that's what I believe in. I think it's beautiful, right? I think it's beautiful how we actually are all like interconnected somehow, right? I mean, maybe it's through the spirit, I don't know. But we're all interconnected in a way that we all bounce off of each other. We're humans, we're social creatures. Like somehow, some way, like even the most introverted people still need social engagement.
That is true. Uber Eats.
You know what I mean? That could have been their social engagement. But because that person went to go work today, they could have stayed home. They could have got a different job. That person chose to go do that job and interacted with, Ronald. And that small interaction has Ronald continue going on with life.
That is true. That is a deep thought to think about because at the end of the day, a smile could go a long way.
Yeah, a small conversation like, oh my God, I hope you have the most wonderful day. Like, this food smells so great. I hope you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
That little uplifting. helps Ronald continue to go through his day. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the smallest of the things where it's like we're all interconnected, that the smallest thing causes the most beautiful reaction. Like, that, like, it's deep, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
beautiful to me. It's beautiful.
So exactly, that's why you always have to give yourself, some space, some leeway to enjoy life, to
Yeah.
give yourself the moment. Like, yes, we all want to be the best that we can. We all want to create our empires or, create our little cottages in the woods and such.
And have that beautiful
Whatever.
relationship or,
Exactly.
whatever.
Let the swans fly and everything. But at the end of the day, you do need to give yourself some leeway and understand no matter how big or how small the win is, a win is a win. You won today by going for that walk, by reading those extra 5 minutes, by doing that extra push up. That one extra push up could have been enough to activate the muscle to actually start to grow or or to help burn extra fat, like depending on what your goals are. Taking that extra step or taking that extra mindful breath to really just center yourself is enough to create a change for yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta do it for yourself at the end of the day. I think where we're heading at and what we're looking at is that we want to create atomic habits that create a better mentality, a mental state, a
Better
better
body.
energy, because at the end of the day, we're all living our own lives. We choose to have people in our lives that are going to help us, And let's say, with this whole topic about not beating yourself up without, like, if you feel like you are not in the same spot, like, let's say you have a friend that's doing, to you, seems is doing a lot better. But what you don't know is that friend could be going through a lot. That friend could be, hey, let's call them like it is. They could be a stunner, someone who spends a lot or puts a lot
Oh,
into
yeah.
appearing like they are better than what they are, but they're probably not, and that's okay because to them that's what makes them feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you cannot beat yourself up. You cannot compare yourself to other people. You have to make sure that you are good. You're on this journey to be better, to be the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
Um,
And going off of that, it's kind of, I have another example because this one is so real to people. Sometimes when you encounter someone who's so negative, sometimes there's something deep going on within their life.
Yeah.
That your purpose within their life is to be positive. And they may not like that. They may be like, oh, he's so positive. Ew, why are you so positive? Like, and then you're going to continue giving those negative outcomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're just a positive person. You're a bubbly person, right? Like, you're not gonna you have to make that choice to not allow that to affect you. And before you know it, your purpose or your spirit pushed onto theirs. And before you know it, they're healed. In a way, in a sense of they're a little more bubbly. Or they come to you and say, you know what, I've just been going through a lot. They kind of like they kind of give you the whole spiel, like I've been going through a lot. There's this and this going on in my life. It hasn't been great. That's why I kind of been lashing out and been negative or this and that, right? And I think you have to kind of give yourself grace and patience, right, within your own self and allowing yourself to be around some of these people. Because just because sometimes these people are negatively affecting you, I think it's safe to say that sometimes you have to be the one to say, I'm going to be here for you, but I'm not going to let you disturb my peace. But I'll be here for you. I'll continue giving you positive vibes. I'll continue pushing you and helping you thrive or wanting the best for you. But I'm not going to allow you to mess with my own peace and allow you to mess with my own positivity and who I am.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, I think I kind of lost my other thought
Mm-hmm.
because there was something else, but it's gone.
Oh, you're good. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is in charge of their own happiness. If you have the mentality, a strong enough mentality that you want to be there for someone who is going through a lot, and unfortunately, they're having to be negative because it's kind of hard for them to keep a happy attitude with everything going bad for them, right? But if you have a strong enough mentality that you're like, it's okay. It's okay. I'll be here. I'll be the ray of sunshine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if not, you need to know when it is time to
That is so
let
true.
go. And I get it. You
I've
don't
done
want to let
that.
go fully, and that's completely fine. But you have to work on setting boundaries and saying that, look, like you said, I can't let you disturb my peace. I want to be here for you, but I feel like maybe right now you need some space. When you feel like
Yeah.
you want to talk and you feel a little more clear, a little more level headed, because sometimes it's just that, some people just
Yeah.
feel so unstable. You just need to let them, like, not crash out on their own, but let them just decompress by themselves and let them
Correct.
regather themselves. And
Just a
sometimes
little
that's all we need.
self-reflection.
A little reflection.
Yeah.
Reflection, the word of the day. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, it can be hard because sometimes you feel like you're not where you're meant to be. And at the end of the day, you are where you're meant to be because this is your life.
Yeah.
Every choice, and this is what I think, every choice you've made is the right choice because it's the only choice you could have made. Because
I love that.
it's what you did. This is the choice that you made, and it's for a reason. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
is for a reason. At the
Whether
end
you
of
understand it or not,
yeah,
like it was the choice that was meant to be made. Like I don't believe in like the predestination stuff, like you were always meant to do this. Like because I do believe in free will,
hmm
right? I believe in free will 100%. But I do believe that sometimes some things were actually meant. What's that? What is it? The something effect.
the
Uh,
butterfly effect.
is it the
Butterfly
is it the
effect.
butterfly effect?
Yeah,
Where like one choice leads to like this path,
yeah,
but if you did this choice,
yeah.
it
Instead of
would have
going
led.
left, you went right. When
Yeah,
originally you wanted to go left, but for whatever reason you decided to go right.
yeah,
So
you
now
just
your
went
life is
right.
completely different. Now you
Cor-
have a family of five.
Legit
When if
that.
you were to go left, you would have been a completely other side of the world doing something else.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
I think that's beautiful but scary. But
yeah,
because I think that you still have free will within that choice, but you were meant to go to the left in a sense, right? Because though going to the right was not this lifetime's purpose in a sense.
yeah, that's
Like I
okay.
know it's kind of conflicting. Like
Hey, alternate realities. Who knows?
I mean, I do think, I do believe in alternate realities
hmm
because sometimes you have those dreams. You know,
Yeah,
when you have those dreams and they just seem so real. Like
yeah,
you and they're of you, but in like a different circumstance. But like it's like so real that you're that person, as if that reality needed your personality and who you were in that moment,
yeah.
right? Because like, oh my gosh. So, okay, because I just went through this the other day. On the other night, okay, so I had a dream, right? This is off topic a little bit,
hmm
but in my dream, this guy, which was me, was going through this situation where they were being abused,
Okay.
right? Like physically abused, right? And I felt it, right? Like I felt it
Yeah.
like as if I was there. And like no, at first it was like astral where I was witnessing it,
Okay.
and then before I knew it, I was me. Like
hmm
I was witnessing me being abused, and then before I knew it, I was me. And then like my personality kicked in and was like, heck nah. Like we ain't doing this. You ain't gonna touch me. You ain't gonna do this. You can go. And like that person was shocked. The other person that was abusing, I don't know who it was. Like obviously, like I've never seen the person in my life. But like I mean, this thing was vivid. Like I remember
Yeah.
what color shirt I was wearing. But like it's like my personality was needed in that moment of my universe or
hmm
in my timeline. And so this other timeline was going through something so deep that it pulled me in this timeline of who I am within that moment to kind of take force and be like, no, we're not going to do that in a sense. You know what I mean?
I get you. I get you.
Like that's why I believe in like the multiverse and stuff because it's kind of like we all have our different personalities. We all have different things that we're going through in different lifetimes, but like on the strings. But it's like we're pulling off of each other and we need each other in a
Okay. I get you. I
sense,
get you.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's why we have those vivid dreams of ourselves, whether we're astral projecting of ourselves or we're ourselves within the dream doing something that we would never do in our actual reality, but somehow ourself in this reality is needed in that reality, that
Yeah.
other reality. Like,
So, I mean, dreams and the potential of the multiverse and everything, it is a huge thing. I think if if ever, maybe not in our lifetime, but hey, a different life, we might know. But kind of getting back to it,
Sorry,
in
my
a
bad.
sense, because
Oh,
I know because I like it because it goes to show that you have the potential to redirect your life.
that
So
is
kind of
so
taking from
true.
like
Yeah.
what you're saying,
You could
sometimes you
change your
do
mind
need,
today,
yeah, yeah,
right now, this very moment.
you go build a train.
Legit, let's
Who knows?
go. You know what I mean? Like,
It's interesting because literally at any point, anything could change, anything could happen, and that's why I don't believe people should ever beat themselves up on like if I if I if I could have did this and that, you couldn't have because you didn't know. Now you do know. That's why now you feel like that. So when people are like, "Oh, I remember this moment when I did this. I was so dumb. I was so ill-informed. Like I didn't know." Exactly.
yeah.
You didn't know. And that's okay because that's the whole point of life. The whole point of life is that you're going through it and you're getting a collection of experiences and such and life lessons that as you grow, you're gonna be able to because you're it's like a the multi-choice test, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna put the same question 3 or 4 times differently to see how you'll answer. I don't know if you ever got those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, in a sense, that's kind of life. Like life is just trying to see, like, I got you once. See if I can get you again. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I think. I think everything's just, I truly don't think anything is really that deep. I think in life, I get it. Certain things can happen, and you're like, well, my life is going to shit, or I'm going through X, Y, and Z, and I get that. But it's all about how you react. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
how you handle yourself. And at the end of the day, life is only giving you, or well, the saying like life gives you what you can handle. If you ever feel like you're at a point where it's like, I can't handle it, think about the worst moment of your life. What is the worst thing you've gone through? Did you
Yeah.
get through that? It sucked going through it. I get it. I get it. It sucks
It was awful.
going through the motions is the worst thing ever. But and you know this because I say this all the time. This will pass. But like legit, I don't remember what was the last thing I was going through. But I was like, it's okay because eventually it'll be over.
Yep.
Because everything's temporary, unfortunately, or fortunately, everything
Yeah.
is temporary. So what I always say is enjoy the time that you have now and the person you are now. It's not going to be the person you're going to be next week or a month away or 5 years away, 10 years away, whatever you want. You could say you want to build a family now, right? 5 years from now, you're like, fuck no,
Yeah, I did
or
that.
vice versa. You don't know.
I thought I wanted a family. And
And
now I don't think I want a family.
he
I
barely
mean,
has a cat, y'all.
like, it's not the family part, it's the kids part.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Like, I want a partner, I want a husband, but I don't know if I want kids. I truly don't know. Like,
And I mean, we don't
and
know
that
yet.
could change
Exactly.
next in a year and a few months. Like, everything could change. Like, my whole thought process could change. I don't know.
And what, 50, 60 years could pass by, and they'll be asked you, how do you feel the fact that you never had kids? Honey, I got to travel. I got to do whatever I wanted to do. But that's because that's who you are at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know. Because what I think people need to realize is like you are still going through life. Whether you have kids, whether you made it to the career that you say you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you got the physique of the life that you wanted, right? Like
Yeah.
you're the best shape of your life. You're not done. Life is still going. You know what I mean? And
I just love that. The way you delivered that was like perfect. Like, baby boy, you're not done yet.
yeah, like we're
I
not
don't know
done.
if you thought you were done, but you
And
still have like 50 years left. Who
maybe
knows? Maybe even more.
yeah, with modern medicine, or
I seen a TikTok. This lady was 102, 105. Girl.
there was a article that was saying that we could potentially, and now I didn't read the whole article, so don't talk me, y'all. That said, with modern medicine, as much as it's adapting, we could end up living to 130 years old.
I love that.
Meaning, I still have at least 100 more years to go.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Me too. 100 years
Me?
more.
Oh,
When you
hell
think
no.
about that, 100 more years to go.
And honey, you've only done a quarter of it.
Shit.
Or
Think
not
about
even
that.
any.
No. Oh
So
shoot, you're right. Not even a quarter. Well, not even a quarter.
it's crazy.
Boy, that's crazy, isn't it?
So at the end of the day, you just don't know. You got to keep an emotion, and with doing the best that you can ever, also vice versa, right? Let's say you lost your job. Let's say you lost your partner. Like you lost your home. You lost your car. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. We've all been there. I've slept in my car. You've been through trials and tribulations that has
Yeah.
tested you. End of the day, you're not done. We gotta keep it going. We gotta regroup,
Yeah.
replan, and redo.
I will say, when you're down bad,
Yeah.
experience it. Understand it. Go through the grief, go through the emotions that you're going through. But you can't sulk in it, right? That's a difference. Some people sulking they're in their feelings for a little longer than they need to be. But I think we need to learn to be a little emotionally stronger because, breakups are going to happen. You're going to lose your job potentially, especially in this economy. You will get into a car wreck if you're driving. There's something that may happen that you were not ready for. And that's okay. That's life. And you're going to experience it. You're going to feel the emotions. You're going to feel the grief. You're going to feel the sadness. You're going to cry. You're going to scream. You're going to feel anger. You're going to go through the seven stages
Stages
of
of
grief,
grief.
right? And then you'll get out. Before you know it, life is as you know it as today. You have your friends, you're going out, you're getting some mimosas, you're, chilling, you're playing your game, you're watching a TV show, you're starting a business, you're eating healthier or eating a cake, whatever floats your boat. But you're living life. You're going through it because you're not done, right? You're still pushing. You got to keep pushing. You can't let yourself, and I tell you, you can't, and I say the words you can't because you truly can't. It's known if you allow yourself to be depressed constantly, you will pass away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is it called? I think there's a term. For some reason, it's not coming to me. But it's kind of like you have a broken heart syndrome,
Yeah.
right? And before you know it, you're physically hurting yourself. You're spiritually hurting yourself. But the main thing is you're physically hurting yourself where you're starting to lose too much weight. Your brain is really foggy. You're not thinking clearly anymore. You're not active. You're losing muscle mass. Like you're just becoming so unhealthy. Before you know it, you land yourself in the hospital,
Yeah.
right? And whether you change it or not, that's a personal choice. But life has to continue moving on. There's so much more to life and experience it. Like truly, 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 truly experience it. Whether it's on your own or with someone or some friends or whatever, experience it. Go on that backpack you wanted to go on. Go on that little trip. Go on that train ride. Go on that walk that you
Wear
keep
the bunny
talking
ears.
about. Wear the bunny ears. Wear the costume. Wear the high heels. Wear the
Go
suit.
jump off a train.
Literally,
Traveling over a giant bridge.
like,
Do what it is you feel like you need to do to make yourself feel better.
obviously, nothing crazy like trying to get yourself hurt. Okay, we know we don't want to do that.
You're
We
not
can't do
liable
that.
for that.
But we are saying is there's things in the back of your mind that you truly want to do. If you know that theory of when you're really thinking, like you really think of a city, like,
Yeah.
and you can't stop thinking about it, like you feel it in your heart or in your spirit or whatever.
Yeah.
That it just means that you were meant to be there,
Yeah. I've heard of it.
right? I think that's real. Like in a personal level of your life, because you were supposed to experience that, right?
I get you.
Like, because your life's not over. It means that you're supposed to be there. Go experience it for a little bit. Because what if you're only supposed to be there for a week and you're like, it's not for
Have
me?
you thought about that? This whole, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's a subcategory of people, and I feel like this is besides the point,
I'm
but there's a
listening.
subcategory of people that continuously travel. And
Okay.
what I mean is like they will travel somewhere and stay there 5 to 10 years,
Okay.
and then they'll move again,
Okay.
settle down, move again, settle
Okay.
down, move again. They continuously move, and here's the thing, right? I feel like there's two avenues that you could think of this as. Like, one, they're exploring, they're letting their spirit fly, they're continuously going, they're continuously growing, right?
Mhm.
Second, the fact that they can't settle down. What are you chasing, and what is it that you can't find? You see what I mean?
Mm.
And I think the reason why I bring both of them up, and there could be more, right? But those are the two main ones that I want to bring up, is at the end of the day, what is the mentality that you have when it comes to that? You see what I mean? Because there are people that want to continuously travel. There are people that want to stay stagnant or sedentary,
What do you mean?
where they want to just stay where they're at.
Like being comfortable where they're at.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some people that want to go somewhere and they want to just stay where they're at and just be cool with that. There are other people that want to continuously go because they want to see where is my place, or they feel like the world is their place because at the end of the day, the world is our place. You know?
Yeah.
But I just think it's so interesting about that. You're never done. You're truly never done. Doesn't matter what age you're at. You could be 50, 60. You're never done. Honestly, learn to grow. Because going back to the main original point, you are not the same person that you were before. You are not the same person you're going to be. At the end of the day, you are always continuously growing. You are continuously moving forward, whether big or small. But at the end of the day, if you cannot proudly say, I am further along, doesn't matter the amount. I just said you're further along than you were a year ago. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You have to be happy with who you are and where you're going. And now, say, it's just I feel like it could be farther. Well, you could be, but that's on you.
Yeah, you made different choices.
That because I know at the end of the day, everyone's different. People are gonna be like, oh well, yeah, no, I get it, but it's just still, I still feel like I could be farther along. Okay, then do it.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
I think then at that point, hire me as your career coach or your personal coach, because then you just need someone to kind of help you align your life then, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if it's that, if you yourself cannot get your own self there, then maybe you need to reevaluate and figure out what have you been doing to get yourself there? Because clearly that's not working. Let's rework it.
Yeah, you need to self-reflect.
Yeah.
Because and this is something that I do often is, when people think I just kind of like stare out the window, but like I will sit on my desk for a minute and I will stare out the window, don't get me wrong. I'm staring out the window. But because I'm like, what are some things that I need to cut out?
Yeah.
That's not
serving you.
Yeah, that's not serving me. Because there's a lot of things I want to do that I have a lot on my plate. And sometimes I get distracted. Social media really does a number on me. I'm not gonna lie. I go onto the posts of my businesses and next thing I know I'm scrolling. But so that's something I gotta work on. But you have to self-reflect in a sense of there's a lot of things that you want to accomplish. Like for me, Spanish, reading, my businesses, and obviously weight management, right? And eating healthier. I've done a good portion of that. Like I've worked on it. There's some things I've fallen short. So then I just got to self-reflect in a sense of what's not serving me because it's cutting into the time that I could be improving myself.
Yeah.
Right? And we all should strive to improve ourselves just a tad bit every single day.
Every single day. At least
Every day.
1%. Or hell, even 0.5%.
Yeah.
1% a day. In 100 days, you'll be at 100% better than the way you were.
Love that because I just read that the other day too. Yeah.
And I get it that some people are like, for whatever reason, 1% is too much. Do 0.5%. But that means in 200 days, which is still less than a year, 200 days, you will be 100% better than what you were. And
because it's
100% better within 1 year is still a lot better.
That's a lot.
Than 100% better in 5 to 6 years.
Imagine you had $1. Imagine you have $100 and you grew that 100%.
Right then and there.
Literally that.
Yeah. That's pretty much our topic conversation today. I know we took a lot of avenues today, but I think at the end, it goes to show that there are different ways to really think about this topic, about self-reflecting and not holding yourself so harshly.
Give yourself a little grace.
Yes.
Be a little patient with yourself. Be patient. If you can be patient with other people, you can be patient. You can be patient for yourself, right?
True.
The main thing is learning patience. Because if you can learn patience for yourself, you can be patient with others.
Exactly. So yeah, again, y'all. So I am Danny.
And I'm John.
And this is, of course, it's not that deep.com. Here at it's not that deep.com. Located at it's not that deep.com.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah.